Hello, Year 12. Someone's asked about this question from the HSC Mathematics Advanced paper in 2015. And it's question 12a, so I'm going to make a quick video on this. So if you can see there, 12a, the question is find the solutions of 2 sine theta equal to 1. Now, the beauty of this is that when we get our answer in the end, we're going to be able to test it. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to write this down. I'm going to solve this equation. So 2 sine theta equals 1. And I divide by the 2, so I get sine theta equals a half. Now, you can go to your calculator and you can get this out, but you can also use the triangles that are on the formula sheet. So we need to find the angle that's going to give us a half. Now on your formula sheet, you'll see a triangle that may look like this. It might be a different orientation. And it'll have 1, 2, root 3, and it'll have 60 here, and it'll have 30 here. And what you need to remember is that this is pi on 3, and this is pi on 6. And you need to make sure you know that. So what's going to give us a half? Well, we've got the opposite of 30 and the hypotenuse. So the angle, and we call it the reference angle that we're going to get, is 30, or in this case, pi on 6. So we're going to get that answer. But we know that the sine curve goes on and on. So there's 1, and there's 2, and it keeps going. But we know that we're restricted between 0 and 2 pi. And we also know that it goes up to 1. So there are going to be 2 answers. There's going to be this answer here, so that's a half. We're going to get this answer here, and we've got that. That's pi on 6. But there's another answer here. There's another answer up here, and there's another answer, and we could go on forever. But we're only interested in all the answers from 0 to 2 pi. So there are 2 answers here. Now we've got one of them. The second one, if we zoom in here, this distance from here to here is symmetrical. It's the same distance from there to there. And we know that this is pi. So to go back and get this angle, it's pi minus pi on 6. So we go back to our answer. We have pi on 6, and our other answer is pi minus pi on 6. Now there's an acronym that you can use, or a little device you can use, that tells you how to calculate these. If the value is positive, all the trig ratios are in the first quadrant. All stations to central. If the answer is positive, you'll also get another one for sine in the second quadrant. You'll get another one for tan in the third, and another one for cos in the fourth. Now, how do you work out what each of those are? Exactly what we just did. This is pi, so if it's in this quadrant, it's pi minus whatever the angle is. And then if it's in this quadrant, it's pi plus whatever the angle is. And if it's in this quadrant over here, it's 2 pi minus whatever the angle is. The first quadrant is whatever the acute angle is, or the reference angle. So you can use that as a little device to help you remember. I prefer to draw the graph. So now we go over here. So we've got our first answer, which is pi on 6. And remember that we've got to have a common denominator. So this is 12 pi on 6. 6 pi's on 6. That's what pi is. Minus 1 pi on 6. Okay, so that's pi on 6 and 5 pi on 6. And now here's the most important part. You make sure you get, I need to get into there, get your calculator and you put it in. So what was our original question? It was 2 sine theta. So go to your calculator and go 2 times sine. Make sure your calculator is in radians. So I'm just going to go shift setup, and I'll put my calculator in radians. So now my calculator's in radians. 2 sine, and now I'm going to put pi on 6. So shift pi, delete that, I didn't hit the shift properly. On 6, and that should equal 1, and it does. And then I'll just use my back arrow and I'll put in the 5, and if that's right, it should equal 1. Beautiful. And that way you can always check your answers. So remember, whenever you're solving a trig ratio, there's usually more than one answer. There will usually be two, 2 if it's positive, 2 if it's negative, and also it might be, if it's positive and negative, you get 4. So if this is 2 sine theta equals plus or minus 1, we get 2 values down here as well. And we calculate them by going pi plus pi on 6 and 2 pi minus pi on 6. So there are 2 other values, but that's if there was a value of -1/2. Well, I hope that explains everything. Good luck.